What's going on? Who is here? Oh, let me turn up the mic. Sorry. I've been working like crazy. Until I have so much crap out, you know I'm working when I have all this stuff out. So we like it loud, the microphone, but I can't have it loud for this recording because it burns too hot. But for talking, this is good. So who do we have? We're going to talk more about capoing. Probably we're going to do capo second fret and learn the chords there. I've got drop D. I'm going to go back up. I was just reading some music for this game just right before I came on. Look at those ledger lines. Now it's not as hard as it looks because it's almost, although the composer this guy, he, like none of those bars, there's no repetition. Like there may be a lick. Actually, it's worse than that. It sounds like it's repetitious, but then there's one note different each time. So you can't just go on autopilot. You have to really pay attention. But I can also, there's like, if there's like, it's perfect when there's a nothing on beat one on the downbeat, and like that's the end of one. So that's a great punch in spot. That's plenty of room, especially at a slower tempo, to punch in. So I don't have to sight read all this all the way from top to bottom. But that's why I have the 814 out, because it's the only acoustic I have with a cutaway. And these notes were up here. So it was basically something like, that kind of thing. Kind of quirky. It sounds bluesy, but it was more quirky than that. This is all single notes. I have this other thing, which is really like for the same tune. These are harder because what that is that's a chart made from the MIDI, and I consolidated. If I didn't consolidate, it actually would be piano score like 4 or 5 octaves of notes. And what it is it's one of those strummer programs. So he's going dun, ba dun 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 dun. So left hand would be an upstroke and the right hand's a downstroke. Dun, ba dun dun dun. And so when you look at it in the MIDI, it just looks insanely complicated. So what I have to do is I have to go through and consolidate. I can't just delete the bottom half, because then I wouldn't have any of the upstrokes. It would just look like it would be like that. And so on this game, it's a game, and there's strumming. He wants strumming at 12 string. That's why the 12 string's out. He wants strumming 12 string on every one of these songs. So it's more me just kind of, you'll notice that it's octaves. So these are all like D's, and these are G's, and these are D's, and these are A's or E's. Then G. So probably if we're in the key of G, then this would be D major, G major, E minor. There might be a weird chord every now and then, but for the most part, these are all diatonic chords. So it's more one thing. You're just going like. That kind of thing. And so it's just a matter of listening to what the sample is doing and then making it a real guitar. So it's kind of cool. But hey, DK, what's going on? I miss you. Is Kathy there? No, Kathy's not here. I'll tell you, you guys want to get better, teach, I swear. When we're working on the bluegrass stuff, now when I pick up the guitar and start playing bluegrass licks, I go, oh, yeah, I can use this scale and... It's just funny because I got better just from the few lessons I taught you guys. So teaching is really definitely one of the best ways to get better fast. Playing in a band or playing with others is also one of the best. Sitting in your room by yourself is like the worst thing you can do. Playing in front of people, you've got the fear factor, and that will force you to like shred, practice. I don't mean shred. I mean shed, woodshed. That means go in a woodshed and practice until you got it down. Because if you're in the woodshed, you won't bug anybody. But DK, how have you been? Are you okay? You've missed so many lessons. Well, you've probably been busy. You haven't been sick, have you? Oh, you have been sick. What did you you didn't have the COVID, did you? Yeah, it just depends on Vito. It just depends on the game. I do, and the stuff that I do for Apex Legend is Apex. I do all the guitars on Apex Legend. Cheers. That is mostly ambient stuff, but sometimes it's actual notes and bass lines. I'm playing bass or whatever. Sometimes they want real instruments, not just like synthy sounding stuff. Um, the But for this composer, no, I use a lot. Like I'm playing mandolin. There's a lot of mandolin on this. Is my mandolin out? No, it's in hanging up. A lot of steel string, bass, and 12 string. So that's pretty much the whole score. And I've gotten through. He wants it by the end of the week, and I've gotten through. But I just been so busy, which of course, I'm so thankful. Is this done? Right? Yeah, this is done. So I can put this in the done pile. So here's what I've done so far, and this composer is very well respected, and yeah. So there's a lot I've already done for this. I have to have it done by Friday. I'll probably have it done today. That's my goal. In fact, I got to drag those files into the Dropbox so you can see them, that I did them. And this is the one with the most stuff. So I think I've got everything except the strumming 12 strings. So anyway, yeah, so that's kind of a day in the life lately. But yeah, it's funny because I was working. I got this game. It's my task for this week to get this done. And then, of course, I got my friend Pablo asked me to do the Marco record, Marco Antonio. And so he came over Monday, and that's why I couldn't stream Monday. So I streamed Sunday. So you can go back to Sunday if you missed anything. I was just shooting the breeze mostly, but talking about my favorite guitar players. And then we did some stuff on Monday. I spent the day Monday working on guitars, and it wasn't quite what he was expecting. So because he's a producer, so he's used to kind of sitting there and going, do this, do that. And he's actually a really good guitar player. So he would give me specific ideas rather than let me do my own thing, which I'm used to doing my own thing, but I'm totally used with him. I'm used to working however he wants to work. So I went yesterday. I had to go over his house, while I'm in the middle of doing all this game. I had to go over his house yesterday and retrack everything I did on Monday by myself. And then as I was at his house, I got called to do another game from another composer, and to that night, and I got called to do a video shoot for a promo for a microphone company. They want me to play banjo and dobro, so I'm going to do that, I think, on Saturday. I know, I got to 80,000 subs. That happened a couple days ago. It's slow. My view counts are down and my revenue's down. Although that video I posted, it's funny because my view counts went way up when I posted that new video. So obviously, what does that mean? I got to post more videos. My view counts went way up when I was doing this every day, which makes sense. But I posted a new video, and let's see, videos, and it's got 7,100 views, but it had 7,000 views like the first 4 days. Now it's almost been a week, and it's only 100 more, so it's kind of discouraging. 100% likes, which is great. And I want to do so. That was the John Lennon video. So if you haven't seen that, I'm sure you can go check it out. So I'm sorry. Now I asked DK. Oh, let's see. So DK. So I asked you what you had, and you said you got discharged way too weak to stay up late. Oh, right, because we're late here for you. I asked you if you got Did you have the COVID? I've known a few people have had it, and they're fine now. So, okay. Well, you take care of yourself. Your lungs are pretty wrecked. A decade of smoking anyway. Yeah. But DK, we've been talking. Well, we talked a little bit about capoing, and so what I want to do is I've got the G7th capo that I think this is the one I bought. I bought one to do that video I did with Alex about capoing. Where's that video? I can post that right now. So if you haven't seen that one, and we're going to do another one. When he just left to go to Boston today, so he's going on a vacation, going to see some friends, and going camping out in the wilderness. Let's see, boy, how long ago was that capoing video? Let's talk about capos. There it is. Okay, so shareable link. Get shareable link. Got it. So this is the one I did with Alex talking about capos. And I want to do one about capo aberrations or capo anomalies. That's what I'm going to call it. I got some weird ones. Like the spider capo, the cut capo, mandolin capos are kind of fun looking. Banjo capos. Now on my banjo, there's 5 strings, and so you've seen I don't know if you've seen those capos that slide up and down the 5th string that you can push down. I didn't get that put on my banjo. What I had was they're called spikes. Spikes, yeah, they're railroads, like little miniature, teeny tiny railroad spikes, and they're brilliant. They only hammer them in like every other fret, and what you do is you just push the string under it, and that holds the string down onto the fret. And the reason you do it only every other string is if you need, like, it's regularly G. So if you go here, it's A. If you need A flat, you just tune it to A. You just put the spike at A and tune it down to A flat. That's the best way to do that, rather than have a spike at every fret. It's, so I touched my face, so we're going to have to take a drink. I'll probably go about an hour because I got to get back to work and trying to save my energy. I was up late working last night. I was up early working this morning. So yeah, Kathy's been gone for a while. She's buffering. Dang it! Come on, come back. All right, there we go. Seems green. Oh. You guys are getting buffering, right? That's crazy. Yeah, I hear did they give you any medicine? You weren't ever intubated, I'm assuming, but you were in the hospital. That stinks. And that is, Vito, you make a great point about the capo. Yeah, one benefit of the capo is that your fingers don't hurt as much because you don't have to push down as hard. But I got this one to do that capo video with Alex. Let's talk about capos. And then when I was at the NAMM show, they gave me one, this 12-string one, which I did a video on. I can put a link to that too. I don't know if you can see it, but one of the problems with 12 strings is, like, the bottom strings, the difference in size between the strings is very large. The difference is, and so capos kind of do weird things, like where the fat string will be capo, but the skinny string will be still buzzing, because it's not pushing down hard enough. And you got to really crank it down, and then it's just like you got to retune, and it's just a pain. So what this has little notches, so it really pushes down harder on the heavy strings and easier on or the other way around, I think yeah. So it's really cool. It's brilliant. I mean, there's a notch for all the bottom 4 strings because those are the ones that are the different strings. So really brilliant. I mean, I don't know how long it'll last, if it'll wear out eventually. And also, it's a different kind. You actually do have tension adjustment. And then you can just clamp it. So it's weird because now they kind of went to the shove model a little bit. Instead of this, which is you apply the pressure. So you flip this switch. Okay, so it's wide open now. So what I do is you put it in the position 1 and you just squeeze it. and it should stay there. So I'm putting the capo at the 2nd fret, a standard tuning. I think I can do partial with this one. So if I want to just do the bottom, the top 5 strings. Oh, dang. So they had you intubated, DK, but you weren't, they didn't put you in a coma to do that? I thought they had to put you in a coma to intubate. That's crazy. Well, I'm glad you're on the mend, although, the damage could be severe done throughout your body, and I'm sure they're watching all that stuff, but just keep doing everything you're supposed to do. Let's not talk about it. Okay, no problem, DK. Sorry. You're the first in the group to get it. But we're not going to really talk about partial capoing. I may talk about it actually because it's part of this lesson. Because the capo 2nd fret, we're not generally, when we capo at the 2nd fret, it is not to get away from bad keys. It's generally to create a different timbre, okay? So the reason I would capo in the 2nd fret is so that I can play in the key of E but use D shapes. No, what was it? What was it? And so it's got a very intimate sound. It's a very intimate sound that normally E wouldn't have. So if I were to play that same progression in E. So there's 2 reasons. One, now the other problem is I've got a big bar chord for the B chord, for the 5 chord. And if I capo at the 2nd fret, that B chord is going to be the A shape. Remember, there will be a quiz on this, okay? You know how I always say, there won't be a quiz on this? Yeah, I got the tape here. I'm taping it up. There'll be a quiz on this. So I'm going to quiz you on the actual chords you're playing at the 2nd position. Okay? Dennis asked a question. Would you say capos aren't for beginners? No, totally capos can be for beginners. Totally. TK, yeah. So you can order that on my website. I just think it's funny because if you're having coffee with your spouse or something, it's like, and you ask her later about the conversation you had, she'd be like, you said there wasn't going to be a quiz on this. So you were like, But so there'll be a quiz on this. But this is, on my YouTube channel, you can actually order this. And the funny, this tape is no longer sticking. Let's see. Now, DK, I forget. Are you on the? Are you on Discord? I'm gonna put a Discord link up so you guys can. Oh, and Dennis is here. I can ask Dennis about this. Dennis, your opinion on this invite here. I have a box I can click that says "Set this link to never expire." I've never done that. I figured it's probably a good idea to have the... It's a good idea to have the link expire rather than just say it permanent. But the frustrating thing for people watching these videos later is that they hear me talking about the link and they click on it and it's no good. So the group is called, if you click on that link and you're like, hey, it's called Peanut H Power Chord. So I'll write that in there. And then you can ask to join it too. Peanut, I have no idea why Dennis, whoever named it, I forget. Peanut H power chord should get you there. I didn't name it, so. Your wife gets historical way more than she gets hysterical. So yeah, right. Okay, I know what that means. So my wife doesn't do that, fortunately. So playing in the the key of E with the capo at second fret, you're using D shapes instead of playing in E chords. It's much more intimate, and you've got the one chord is a little puny, and that's why you might do the partial capo. So you have that open E string ringing out, and that makes it sound huge. But really, the whole point of kind of capoing and playing in D, using D shapes, is to get that small sound. But the fourth chord, which is G, and the G shape and the A shape, those are both easy to play. And you've got like this. All that stuff will be difficult to do because I wrote this song. Well, actually, the song was originally written in D anyway, but I'm just moving it up, and I probably would never do it in this key because it's already too high for me. It was actually my most popular worship song. And I don't think I have it tight enough. So let's go over some of the shapes. So let's say we're in the key. If we were in the key of A here, we would play in. And I'm going to do another. I'll do another chart and upload it. I haven't. I think I have to print a blank one. Let me do that. So play it. So again, my nomenclature, my terminology is going to be. I'm going to say shape for what it looks like and chord for what it is. So if this is, I'm going to say A chord, but it's a G shape. So you're going to go, that's not an A chord, that's a G chord, but it's like that. I'm trying to brainwash you. I'm trying to hypnotize you into thinking, okay, knowing that that's an A chord. Now, if you have perfect pitch, it's irrelevant. You know it's an A chord. But I don't know if any of you, nobody here has perfect pitch, I don't think. Hey, Roger, how's it going? Frank's here too. Leo, sorry, I haven't said hello. Yeah, DK's. It's crazy. DK had the corona, and it was in the hospital, intubated for a week. That's insane, dude. Oh, he took off. Okay. I think I want to send him something. I'll try to, if he joins up on Discord, I'll try to get his address and maybe send him some strings or something, so I got to find him. I know it's going to be a pain to send anything to India though. It's going to be like, $25 worth of strings, and I send it to him, and it's like, it's like $40 in shipping or something, and he gets it like 8 months later. Probably because I'm talking too much. Not playing enough. Okay, so make an A. You got your capo out. You can be acoustic, electric, doesn't matter. Make your A chord. Okay, this is an A chord. Looks like G. All right. Okay, play A. Good. Very good. All right. Okay, make a C shape. That's a D chord. So it's pretty easy to remember because you're just up a whole step. So it's the next letter in the alphabet for the most part, right? It's all my charm. Yeah, my charm is not getting me thumbs ups. That's right. People could dislike it. Okay. I sometimes lose subscribers too because they're like, oh, another notification from Tom. Jeez. Okay, so we have A and D. There's a D. It looks like a C, but it's a D. So play D, play A. Play D, play A. Play D, A. Okay. D, now play the D shape, and that's an E major chord. And And if I play a D minor shape, that's going to be an E minor chord, okay? Remember all that, the prefixes change, but the suffixes stay the same. So if I played a D7 shape up here, that would be E7. If I played this, it would be E6, this would be E major 7. Like if you want to do Kiss Me. What key that song originally is. It may be in E. So that's E, D, A, D, E. And the thing is, when I'm like that, when I'm reading a chart, and if it says A, you know, I'm like, sometimes if it's the song's in A, I'm gonna, on acoustic guitar, I'm gonna pull out my capo. Worship leaders, young worship leaders in particular, are guilty of playing every song in G. They'll just move the capo around, and it's hilarious because it was one time where a worship leader was playing guitar and the song was in D flat, and I'm like, really? D flat? That's an awful key to play in, you know. And he had the capo up here at the capo up at the 6th fret, and he was just playing in G. So for him, it was just like, oh, I'm playing in G, you know. And I'm like, oh man, I got you know, I got no open strings on the electric. I'm like, no fun. So it's like, could you go up a half step or down a half step? I mean, you know, C or D would be fine, but why D flat? But it fit right in his voice. And so, you know, the leader's the boss. So you do what the leader tells you to do. Tom, try this. Passing chord combo, G minor to C7. Yeah, G minor 7. Yeah, that's a 2-5-1 progression in bebop, in jazz. That's the most common chord progression in jazz, the 2-5-1. So the G minor 7 would be the 2 chord. The C7 is a 5 chord, and actually in the right key. But yeah, you could also do G minor 7, G flat 7 to F major 7. That G flat 7 would be a substitution for the C7 chord. Any 7th chord in jazz, anytime you have a dominant 7th chord, G7, C7, B flat 7, whatever, you can always substitute for that chord a 7th chord a tritone away. In other words, if you're playing A7, a tritone is this. Okay, so now instead of A7, you can play E flat 7. That'll work. So totally got off the capo thing. Thanks a lot, Vito. Okay, so we have the 1 chord D, this A. We have the 4 chord D, the 5 chord E. All right, you ready? A little quiz here. Play A. Good. Play D. No. There you go. You got it. Now, how many of you got the right chord? I said, no, and you went, what? Okay, now play an E chord. All right, let's try this again. Okay, here we go. A, D, E. Okay, now play an E minor shape. Okay, that's an F sharp minor chord. F sharp minor, which is the 6th chord. In A. Okay, so play A, F sharp minor, D, E, A, F sharp minor, D, A, or E, F sharp minor, D, D, or E, F sharp minor, D, trying to give you more warning, A, E, A, D, F sharp minor, E, A, D, F sharp minor, E. Okay, so those are the four main chords. You got the 1, 6, 4, 5. The 2 chord in this in A would be a B minor, and the way you play B minor is great. It's just A minor shape. Great. B minor is something about B minor is a really cool key, and so to be able to play B minor like an A. So it was. Southern Man by that's not the right key. Actually, I noticed he did it. He originally was in D minor, and I saw him play. And he was down down to C minor, so he tuned down the guitar a whole step. And I think he may have been playing an open F, which sounds really crazy, but I think it was open G tuned down a whole step because he was doing some weird shapes, and it was like, wait a minute, how's he doing that? And maybe it was just the bottom 2 strings were down a whole step. I'm not sure if the top string was down. In fact, I have to look at his hand better. But yeah. Now Gary's saying that he was like finding that key, and that's the thing. There is no key that's good for a singer. Okay, you go, oh, C is great for me. Well, not necessarily, because C could be good if you're sitting between the C and the C. If the melody is between the C and the C, that's a pretty good key. Be between the G, the 5th of the key and the 5th of the key. Well, that G is up here. I'm not going to be able to sing that note. So yeah, no one key is better than any other for singing. It's the melody. It's the range of the melody. Where does the melody fall in that key? And that's the key, so to speak. Oh, I used air quotes. I don't know if anybody was going to catch that if I didn't say something. Well, you probably would have. You guys are all pretty smart. Oh, shoot. I see. Oh. What is going on? Shoot. Let's see. Yeah, it's all over the place. It's even going down to 0 kilobytes per second. Insane. Whoops, wait. Warning. Yep, the stream health. See, it was doing it a second ago, earlier too, like about 15 minutes ago, but no one noticed. Because it just was so quick. That's weird. My upload speed is good. So that tells me it's a YouTube issue. And the internet got, 40% of the internet was shut down a couple days ago for about 30 minutes. Okay, now I've got green. So I'm assuming that the OBS software is pinging back and forth between. Oh no, it's dropping again. Pinging back and forth between YouTube and my computer, and so it's getting. It's good. Yeah, no, I don't think it's you guys. I think it's YouTube. Because my upload speed was 12 megabytes per second, which is more than I need. I mean, 12,000 megabytes per second. Okay. Okay, so the B minor chord is the A minor shape. Let me get, if we're going to be buffering, I might as well go ahead and print up that sheet and then write in the chords, and we can scan it and get it up to Discord. So if we can't do anything else, we can at least have the paperwork, okay? And then you've got a reference, which I always love to give you guys. Desktop, live stream stuff. I gotta go to. There we go. So I can. Oh, here it is. Got so many things in here now. So I'm gonna print this up, and we're going to. Okay, it looks like it's fairly healthy right now. Yeah, it looks. Why is it not printing? Print, damn you. Oh, all right. Well, now I'm printing 2 of them. Well, if the reload helped you, but see, I'm getting information here saying the stream is not good, so it's not you guys. I really think it isn't. I think that's just a coincidence. Okay, so this is a painful book. Pumping Nylon. Funny name though. It has a lot of exercises in here. This is man, this is a brutal book. I had some of these. My professor gave me. You can see I wore this book out. My professor gave me some of these exercises, and then this book came out. This is Scott Tennant. Scott Tennant's a teacher at USC and everything, but man, some of these are crazy exercises. Like the hammer-on stuff. Boom, hammer-ons, oh man, and the pull-offs exercises in this book. I wouldn't necessarily recommend this unless you were really, because I was trying to get, if you're really trying to get good at classical guitar, then maybe you recommend this. He does have some of the more usable Giuliani scales in here, but you can get the Giuliani scales for. This book was probably $20 or something. View of it online. It's intense, and I bought it to try to speed up my right hand, and it really didn't help that much. But it gave me a bunch of other exercises that and I was going to use it to write these things up. So buffering again. Dang it. That's why I'm doing this, so you guys can listen while I write the chords out that we've got so far. Capo. 2nd fret. Okay, so the G shape is A. 2. The C shape is D. Boy, it's hard to say C shape and write the letter D. Okay, I got green here, but it's going back between green, yellow, orange, and red. And when it hits red, I've seen the number 0 here, which is crazy. Now, I wonder if it's like that on the playback. I forget. Come on. All right, and then the E chord is the D shape. Okay. And again, remember, we're changing the prefixes. The letter names are changed, but like that E, if I make that a 7th chord, E7th or whatever, all the letters that after all the numbers after are, I know, Dennis, it's a bummer. Hey, Roxanne. Oh, I'm so glad you found me too. That's awesome. Sorry it's buffering right now. That's not normal. It's happened in the past, but I don't know what's going on. And HBK, Styles, good to see you. Harry Styles. I'm glad, and it's good. It looks good now. It's green. I've got a little, on the OBS software that I'm using to do the video, because I can do things like this with it. Right? Remember? Memories. Oh, here we go. I should leave that up there. Like the corners of your mind. Right? Remember all our strumming grooves? Misty, something melodies, memories. Of the way we were. So those are all some of the old scenes, as they call it, man. Let's make a scene. 5 of 5 now. All right. Yeah, but unfortunately, Leo, I'm not 5 of 5 on my. I got a dislike. Somebody who disliked. Okay, analytics. How many people are watching now? Drop down because of the buffering. I'm sorry about it. I wish I had anything to do with it. And so the E minor shape is F sharp minor. So I'm taking this buffering issue time to write out the stuff that we're going to do anyway. And I'll put this in the Discord. I'll upload this PDF to the Discord. I'm also going to put a link so you can join an invite link so you can join the Discord group. Yeah, again, I don't think there's anything you guys can do because I'm seeing my kilobytes per second stream rate on the OBS software actually got down as low as 0. It's like, well, that means not even the audio is getting through. So that's not good. Okay. Oh, and then I did B minor, which was the A minor shape. Okay. And then if you did A major shape, okay, so major shape, that would be B major. So, hey, you want an easy way to play B? Boom. And there you go. 0, 1, 2, 3, 0. Speaking of 0, my stream went down to 0. I mean, I just did a speed check. Okay, so I'm going to scan this and put this up on the Discord. Let me get the Discord link for anybody that, because the one I posted a second ago, they expire after, I don't know, a few, maybe 20 minutes. I'm not sure how long they last. Paste. Yeah, I'm going to quit some applications here. Just in case it's coming from me. I don't need to save that. Let's see, what else can I quit? I can definitely quit that. No, I can't. I got to keep those. Okay. I don't know if that's going to have any effect on it or not, but right now it's green, 2,500 megabytes or kilobytes per second. And I can bypass the OBS thing. Okay, so when I did this before, what are the chords that I use? Oh, I can just pull it up on the... Well, I know what I did because we need the... We the main 6 chords in any key are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay? And so what we're doing is we're basically doing the keys of A and E. So far in the key of A, I have the 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. So the 3 chord in the key of A is C sharp minor. All right? A, B, C sharp. If you go up a major scale, A, B, C sharp. And C sharp minor is played like a B minor chord. So if you can play a B minor chord, play that in front of the capo, pretend like the capo is your nut, and play at the 2nd fret, and that would technically really be the 4th fret, and that would be C sharp minor. Now, one thing that you're going like, oh, I'm not very good at the B minor chord. However, because you've got the capo on, the two things are happening. The strings are now at fret height instead of nut height, so it's easier to push down, and your arm is, the frets are a little bit smaller, so you should be able to make it you're more likely to be able to get your fingers all scrunched together. Okay? So the capo kind of helps do that. All right? So there's C sharp minor is it's the 3 chord in the key of A, and it's the 6 chord in the key of E. Okay? So let me just remind you what those chords are in those 2 keys. And these are, like I said, these are the main, in E, I won't put them in order. I mean, I'll put them in order, not order of use, but like in the key of A, you have A, B minor, C sharp minor, D, E, and F sharp minor. Okay, those are your main chords, and I think we have all those now. Yeah, we have all those on this sheet. So, and then the key of E, which is the other key that we might capo at the second, or we might play in capoed at the 2nd fret. The E, F sharp minor, one we haven't done yet, oops, minor, G sharp minor, which is just F sharp minor, but played in front of the capo. And then A, B, and C sharp minor. So we have all of those except the G sharp minor. All right? Hey, Catherine. Yeah, Beth has got a job, like a 3 month job. I can't believe it. She's a substitute teacher, and of course she wasn't getting paid through all this, and she went ahead and took unemployment. But um, yeah, the teachers were getting paid, and they were working from home, and so pretty much nobody needed a sub. So she got a sub job in South Pasadena. She's going to be doing for 2 months, but she volunteered to come in the month before, because she didn't know the technology that well, and so she's going to be working with the teacher before the month before. Well, they wouldn't let her volunteer. They said, no, we'll pay you. So that they were so blown away that she was willing to volunteer to sit with the pregnant teacher for a month so she could learn all the software. They just said, no, 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 we're going to pay you. So you come in. And so she's got 3 month gig, which is great. That'll take her all the way to Thanksgiving. She's so relieved because the schools in California are still not in session. They're not going to let them. Most of the counties are going to be closed. So it's really bad for the kids. It's just bad for the kids. I'm not going to change. Let me touch my face so we can all take a drink. If you're new to the live stream, we have a drinking game that we play. Robert Stevens, what to do? Good to see you. I love that. Why do I love that so much? Okay, but the drinking game is basically if I touch my face, which we're not supposed to do in the COVID era, right? Which is, I'm doing it more than ever now. Because it's like Pavlovian. I touch my face every time I'm thirsty. I'm like, oh, I can take a drink now. If I refer to myself in the third person, which never happens really, only when I'm joking with you guys. If I use air quotes, which I do, if I say I had a band in high school called fill in the blank, if I mention the fact that I played all the guitars on Apex Legend, if I drop my pick, if I drop a pick, it's a sip. But if I drop a thumb pick, it's 2 sips. If I drop a thumb pick, because you should never drop a thumb pick. And let's see, Gary. I know you're out there. I see you, but I'm trying to remember. Oh, if I leave the room, that is a fill in the time sip. Okay, it's not punitive necessarily, but I sometimes have to leave the room to go get something over there. And then also, if I say if I said there's not going to be a quiz on this, all right. And here, the reason, so this is a mug you can get on my YouTube channel, and you get shirts made too. I don't know, so Peter got the shirt, but it's I think it's hilarious on a mug. And I'm gonna get another one made that my daughter did some artwork. I've got it right here, and I think it's gonna say don't fret, and then below it it'll say there won't be a quiz on this. So my daughter did that. She also did a couple of these. So, we're looking for t-shirt ideas from her. I want her to design it, and kind of cute. Oh, you got the mug hook? That's awesome. Thank you. And the reason that has turned into my catchphrase is because, well, for one thing, I think a million things at once. I never drank until I was in my 50s, and one of the things, I don't drink per se. I'll have a glass of wine or a beer, and one of the things I like about it is that when I have a glass of wine, instead of thinking of 12 things or 15 things at once, where most men have a 1-track mind, I've got like a 15-track mind. It narrows it down to around 5 to 10. So it's actually, it makes it easier for me to be around, I think, and that may be true for everyone. I don't know, but it definitely kind of makes my brain kind of settle down. But my problem is when I'm teaching you, I forget that I'm dealing mostly with beginners, and I'll give you a trick too here in a second. And so I'll say something, and as soon as I say it, I'm like, dang it, you're not going to understand that. And that's why I say, I don't mean you're stupid. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, look, this is not necessary to know, but if you understand it, like the whole 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 thing, I get so many comments from so many of you, even emails from so many of you saying, you turned on so many light bulbs, and that's exactly what I want to do. So I'm always trying to sneak in a little bit of theory, but I'm not expecting you to understand it at that moment. But every time I say it, you might understand it a little bit better, or it starts to make sense. it's like speaking a second language. It's just, you just got to do it. And sometimes you don't really understand everything you're hearing, but then eventually you start to pick it up in a little bit at a time. So that's where the origin of, there won't be a quiz on this, because I get ahead, I get thinking too fast, I get too many side tangents, as you know. So the trick that I want to show you is, if you are going to teach, which again, I recommend it, just you could volunteer at the VA to teach. I mean, not right now, obviously, because of the COVID thing. I actually had a subscriber that taught guitar to VAs, and he would volunteer and go in once a week and taught group lessons. And when you do group lessons, it's lowest common denominator. So, I mean, you may be sitting on a GCD for weeks. But one of the things I would do anytime I had a new student and I knew it was their first lesson, just like the 5 minutes before they showed up, I'd take the guitar and turn it upside down and I'd try to play. And what it would do would be, and I just can't even, it's like, okay? It's just like, it's insane. But what it does is it allows me to reset my brain and go, this is where they are. Remember that. And if you're ambidextrous, you can play left-handed, then okay, that's not, never mind. But my dad was lefty. He lettered in 4 sports. I was just not athletic. I was too small. Forgot tuning. Oh yeah, forgot tuning. You're right, Jim. Thank you. That's another one. Yeah, I said band in high school. Apex Legend. Yeah. Oh, Sean Connery voiceover. Is that one of them? I'll be on. Hey, sexy. There won't be a quiz on this. I don't know. Mrs. Strahle, you're a sexy, sexy woman. Okay, so the only chord we need to do is, I mean, I didn't actually play it with you, but if you play the B minor shape, that's C sharp minor. Yeah, Radiohead. And then, yeah, switching guitars. That's right. That's another one. And then if you play the F sharp minor chord, which you bar all 6 strings at the second fret, really at the 4th fret. Oh, air quotes. We're having way too much fun. And then you put your 3rd and 4th finger, if you don't know this chord, it's not critical. I could give you a cheater chord, but anyway. That should cover everything we need for the keys, for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chord in the key of E and A. Seems to me I had another chord written out. I'm trying to think. Another common shape we would do. Oh, in E major. If we did E major, that would be F sharp major. If we did an E major shape, that would be F sharp. That's optional. That's extra credit. And F sharp minor, the shape would be G sharp minor. And again, that's the 3 chord in the key of E. An unlikely chord. The 3 chord is the least likely chord to be used of the 6. If you're trying to figure out a song, and see, here's the thing. The reason I think that's really good to know those in any key, the 6 most common chords, is it makes it a lot easier to figure out songs when you're trying to figure out. And I almost always recommend try to figure it out yourself before you go get the tab or before you go find the lyric chord, because I can enter any song, if I do Southern Man by Neil Young and type in Google and hit chords lyrics, you'll find 72 PDFs of the lyrics with the chords written over it. And I think that's that's funny. That's pretty funny, Gary. That would be, it's better to work your ear. You already know how to read letters. So if you can try to figure it out, maybe you could download the PDF or, print the PDF up and look at the first chord to get the key, or it says the key up there. If it says the key of D, then okay, my choices are D, G, A, F sharp minor, E minor, and B minor. Those are the most likely chords. Now, there are no rules when you're writing a song. And so if you want to go out of key or do a weird chord, obviously we talked all about that. We did a whole bunch of chord theory lessons, okay? So let's review these chords. This is A, play A. This is D, play D. This is E, play the A shape. That's B major. Play the A minor shape. That's B minor. Fun chord. I love B minor. I don't know why. Okay, if you put the CAPO, bar at the second fret, play the B minor shape. This is actually C sharp minor, which is the sixth chord in the key of E. So we're playing the key of E. C sharp minor, A, B, E, C sharp minor, A, B. Okay. And then we had G sharp minor, which is F sharp minor. I'm probably going to avoid these two bar chords for now. I'm just going to quiz you. There'll be a quiz on this. My tape. I got to get more tape. There'll be a quiz on this. And here it be. Right now. Okay, play an A chord. All right. Let's see. But we're really playing in D key shape. Exactly, Avito. Exactly. You're using D key shapes, but you're playing in the key of E. But I want you to learn what the names of these chords actually are. G sharp minor is using canon in D. I doubt it, but in D it would be. Yeah. It would be. There's a 3. Reverse sip. Why? Why is there a reverse sip, Gary? What did I do? Did I untouch my face? Okay. G. Oh, I see. Because there'd be a quiz. Okay, right. Yeah, maybe. Okay, so here's. Okay, sorry. So play an A chord. Okay, if you played this, you're right. Okay, play a D chord. If you played this, you were correct. Play an E chord. If you played that, you were correct. Play F sharp minor. Yeah, spit. Good. Okay, play a B minor chord. B minor. And you can look at the neck and go, how would I play B minor in regular? Oh, well, look at that. It's the A minor shape. Okay. Play, I'm going to repeat some now. Okay. So I'm not trying to fool you. I'm trying to test you. Play an E chord. All right. Good. Play a D chord. Oh, awesome, Roxanne. Okay, play an F sharp minor chord. Here it is. I'm trying to give you more time because last time I did this, I was not giving you enough time, I think. Okay, play a B minor chord. And I'm going to show you a fun B minor chord. Okay, ready? First play a B minor chord. Okay, so it's this, right? Okay, take off your first finger. Slide this up 3 frets, so you're at now technically the 7th fret. Okay, but you're 5 frets up from the capo, right? Play top 5 strings. That's a B minor 9th. And you can substitute that for B minor. Oh, I'm touching my face. Dang. Good thing I got a full cup of coffee. I haven't had breakfast yet. I was going to try to munch on this, but when do I shut up long enough to eat a power bar? Seriously. I mean, who else is going to talk if I'm not talking though? See, it's like I could just sit here and go, no, I'm not going to eat it now. I don't feel like it. I'm not hungry. But I mean, you guys are really going to stick around if I'm just watch me eat a power bar? I mean, there are YouTube channels of like cute girls eating dinner. It's like, really? That's a thing? And it's like you're sitting across from them like for an hour, and you can put that on your laptop at dinner, and you eat across from this girl. I'm like, I kind of get that. Especially, I think it would be really popular during the COVID lockdowns. But gee, I don't think anyone's gonna want to watch me eat a power bar. Okay, so yeah, so I'm playing a B minor. Isn't that cool? It's not a hard chord to play either. Tom starts mukbangs. I'm afraid to ask what that means. I had a band in high school called Mukbangs. Cheers. Some people are really bored. I think some people are really lonely. Which, like I said, I kind of understand. I mean, it could be anyone. It doesn't be a pretty girl, but I just think it's funny because it's like, I kind of get that. If you're a lonely person and you want to eat, you don't want to eat alone. And yeah, I wonder if it's even better for you because they say it's better not to eat alone. Right? It's healthier not to eat alone. The eating of like 1,000. Yeah, I don't eat slow. Okay, so wait, there's the B minor. Okay, F sharp minor. E minor shape. Okay. A. Okay, how about B major? B major. Remember B minor, play B major. Which is that? Very good. A. Okay. In fact, that may be why all of you are watching right now, because you're all lonely. Well, that's why I'm talking to you guys, because I'm lonely. So, okay, so that's B. It looks like an A chord, but it's B because we got the capo at the 2nd fret. And again, I'm trying to get you to, so you'll learn the chords up here. And if you don't use it, you're probably going to lose it. All right? Gary, you play at church and things like that, so you're more likely to go, oh, yeah. Instead of, having to transpose, you can, oh, yeah. Somebody, who was it that was saying in church that they do all the songs in B flat and E flat, and that's so common. If you're playing with horn players, again, you're going to play in a lot of flat keys. F, B flat, E flat, and so on and so forth. The reason is tenor, sax, and soprano sax and trumpet are all B flat instruments. Meaning, when you're playing in how do I explain it? When they're playing in C, you're playing in B flat. Okay? So they're playing C, but it sounds like B flat. All right? So if we play in C, then they've got to go up to 2 sharps. Okay, well, that's not a big deal. 2 sharps is not a big deal. But C is, we're more likely, guitar players are more likely to play in A or E. Well, if I go to E, the key of E, they're playing in the key of F sharp, which is 6 sharps. And they hate that. So oftentimes what happens is, you'll go the other way. So say if you play in the key of E flat, that's the key of F for them. That's 1 flat. It may be 3 flats for me, but it's going to be 1 flat for them. And so sometimes I would get A flat if I were playing with a horn section, and so that's only 2 flats for them. That's easy. But for me, it's 4 flats. So yeah, it's kind of one of those weird things. All right, so yeah. Yeah, Bruce, you're always having lunch while I do my live stream, because you're in my time zone. I'm skipping lunch to do this. Diane's here. I need to think of a story. I do have so I was in the movie, I was, pretending to play guitar in the movie Gangster Squad. I think I told you a couple stories about that. As a B-flat clarinet player. Oh, that's right, clarinet is B-flat too. find this transposition thing triggering. Yeah, totally. We all have our triggers. Triggers are not a new thing. I like that. I'm gonna have to write that down. All right, so you'll hear it on the radio in a year. So I did. I don't know. Did anybody check out that Benny Main song that I that I co-wrote? I can't really. The sad thing is, I really can't promote it on my Facebook page because almost everybody that follows, it's, I'm friends with, are people from church, so I can't really promote it. But the song is called "I Ain't Shh" by Benny Main, and it's me playing guitar, and it's actually a really cool guitar hook. It was probably my Martin. I put my Martin away because I had to play this one on the. And again, the reason I have the Taylor out, this is the 814, is because I was just doing some playing on a here it is for a video game, and you can see those ledger lines are way up there. And this is the only guitar that I have that has a cutout. So and that was the top note in the chart. So I kind of had to, and if you are a reader and you want to practice reading ledger lines up high, a clarinet study book or flute study, particularly flute study book because it's in C concert, but those are great. I used to buy those, like I'd find them at thrift stores for like a dime, and I had 3 or 4 flute books or trumpet books or things like that you would get for 50 cents. I had a thick trumpet one. That I would just use practice for sight reading, and there'd be all sorts of phrases in there I never would have thought to play on the guitar. So it's really good exercise. Yes, I was. Oh, you're kidding! You're putting new twos. What are you gonna put Spurzels on or something? Locking? Yeah, this one. So I'm changing guitar so you can take a sip. And I touched my face, so that's a double sip right there. Yeah, it's. It's that kind of stuff that on the same game the composer wants. I love the back. Look at the wood on this. It's so gorgeous. Just look at that. That's some serious flame. I mean, it's such a pretty guitar. It sounds great too. My first 12 string almost made me want to quit playing guitar because it was a K, really cheap 12 string. But I really like John Denver, and so I got it when I was 11. I think it was a birthday present. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a birthday present. So I get 100. Something was off. I think it was a low E string. Yeah, it was. Yeah, these are Grovers. Yep, but it came with Grovers. So yeah, no, I definitely like Grovers. Let's see, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I mean, I have the only guitar I've changed. I think I put Spurzels on this one, on my G&L, and I think I put Spurzels on my Strat. And the main reason for Spurzels, I mean, I think it makes them better too. So the way Spurzels work, it's brilliant. I don't know. I was probably Vito asked why do 12 strings sound buzzier in general. I think I was noticing it today when I was playing acoustic. For the recording, I was hearing a lot of buzz, and I'm like, yeah, but that's pretty idiomatic for guitar. So all you're doing is guitars buzz. And then when you have 12 strings, it's going to buzz twice as much. So I think that's part of it. Plus, I think there's a lot more overtones on a 12 string. So you think you're hearing buzzing, but it's really just the fluttering of all the overtones working against each other. But what Spurzels do is Spurzels have a pin that go up through the, you've got the, I'm not going to do that. you've got the you know, the, I don't even know what that part's called, but it's where you put the string through. And there's a pin that goes up, and you just crank it on, and you pull the string as tight as you can get it, and then crank that on, and then you just turn it, and you really don't even, basically it's a half a turn. I don't think you can see on there, but there's no winding on these. They don't even have room for windings. So basically you pull it as far as you can get it, tight, and crank it, and then the pin pushes the string and holds it in place, and then you tighten it. Hey, Steven, I'll tell you in a second. I said this, I already said, but I'll tell you again. Excuse me. And I have to look up and see who I'm going to tell a story about, because I gotta get his name. But what it does is it makes it more likely to go in tune if you're going to whammy or whatever. Stay in tune, okay? Because because what happens when you whammy is it loosens the strings, right? When you push the whammy bar down, it loosens the strings. That's why everything gets lower. And when you have a lot of windings on the tuners, those are all like little mini springs waiting to be undone. And when you loosen, they all kind of get loose, and they're, you know, because the strings have these grooves on them. Then when they come back, they maybe, instead of coming back here, they come back like this, and now you're a little flat. So with less windings on there, you've got less of a spring release there. So I can whammy, and it's like having a locking nut, but I can still tune. So that's why I like Spurzl tuners. And they're not much more expensive than regular tuners, surprisingly. And then, and they're made in the U.S. But the main reason I like Spurzl tuners is because I can change strings so freaking fast. So if I'm on stage and I break a string, I can literally pull the old string out, put a new string in, pull through, boom, tighten it, tune it, and then I don't have to wind it. It's already almost all the way there. I just have to tighten it about, you know, like I said, it's about a half a winding on here. So that's probably 5 or 6 turns of the knob instead of 50 or 60. And it's in tune, and then I go back to playing. It's pretty crazy. I mean, live I've done it. But I usually have a backup for live. In the studio, it's just faster. You know, you go, hey, I broke a string, let's take a break, and it's like everybody's, oh, okay, let's go get coffee. No, you don't need to get coffee. It's gonna take me 60 seconds. So, yeah, so Pablo came over on Monday, and we started coming up with ideas for the song, and then he left, and I recorded them, and then I sent him the files, and some of the stuff was like he wasn't digging the feel that I went for. And the groove, because it was an acoustic piece, and the tempo is very slow. And slow tempos are really hard to play. And so he felt like it wasn't in the pocket quite as much as, or the pocket that he was hearing. So I went back to his house yesterday and re-recorded. He has a studio in his house, and he's very close. And normally that's what we would do. This was kind of an experiment. Because the beauty of recording from home for these kind of projects is so he can keep working, and we can be working on 2 different things at the same time. The other beauty of it is you don't have to rent a studio and an engineer and all that stuff. But this is like a big record, and you know, if it's not perfect, you got to do it again. And so I went over yesterday, and you know, I already knew the song. It's a very simple song. I already knew it. I did like maybe 5 tracks of acoustics for options and things like that, stereo, left and right, some finger picking, some licks. And then 2 tracks of ukulele, because I think Marco played ukulele on the demo, and I just thought you got to put ukulele on the song, give him that option. So anyway, yeah, I changed guitars, didn't I? Okay, so I'm going to scan this now and post it in the Discord. Okay, so this sheet here, CAPO, the most important thing is the part up here, CAPO 2nd fret. You're looking at it and go, that's not an A chord, that's not a D chord. Yeah, they are. When you CAPO at the 2nd fret, those are all. So this is another piece of, another PDF that you can download for free at the Discord site. Let me get this here. All right. Auto scan. Oh, did I touch my face? Okay. And then I'm going to the Discord site to get the link one more time. Okay. And then I go to, so it'll be at Tom's Bookmarks. let's see, exit. Okay. Save as PDF. Oh, perfect. This is CAPO 2 is what this is going to be called. All right. Boom. All right, it's there. Click the plus sign. Find the file. Where's the... What the heck? Wrong folder. Desktop. Live stream. CAPO 2. There it is. Boom. Choose. And I got to remember to hit this button. Upload. There we go. I thought the plus sign did that. Okay. What are your thoughts on the guitar that each note as a button and no... those things? I've never even played one of those. I know what you're talking about. You're not talking about the tabletop one. You're talking about... It's like... There was a synth that had buttons instead of strings. Yeah, I've never played that. I have no thoughts on it. Oh, yeah, and it has the for picking. Yeah, I forget what it was called. I remember that. In fact, I think Alan Holdsworth may have played one of those for a minute, but I can't remember what synth he used. It had, his neck was... Yeah, maybe, because the neck could be angled and then the picking could be straight and everything. Ergonomically, maybe it makes sense, but... You know, because you can't bend strings around a corner. But yeah, I don't know. I've got to look up something real quick. So I was in this movie called Gangster Squad, which is interesting because let's see. Yeah, Gangster Squad. There we go. 2013, yeah. So it probably was 2014 or 2012 that we filmed it. Actually, there was a scene that was supposed to be in the movie, and they cut it. It was like one of the end scenes. Holy God. So who? Sean Penn was in it. I talked to Sean Penn a little bit. I'm pretty fearless when it comes to talking to people like that, you know, because I feel like people are really afraid to talk to him. I talked to, you know, several times I talked to, well, Josh Brolin I talked to. I got to stare at, dang, where is it? Oh, Emma Stone for the whole week. She was there the whole week. So I got to look at her. That wasn't a bad thing. And of course, the lady's like, where is he? Did he take his name off of this? Because he didn't want to be associated with it. That's so funny. Oh, Nick Nolte was in it. I guess I forgot that. I didn't see Nick Nolte. Anthony Mackie was one of the guys that was there. And I hung out with him, and we had, you know, he hung out with the band a lot because he knew the bass player from the band. They went to Juilliard together, and so weird. Did he take his name off of this? How is... Oh, Ryan Gosling. There you go. Yeah, so I talked to Ryan Gosling a couple times. He played my guitar. So did Josh Brolin. Really, everybody was really nice. A Centaur, maybe? I don't remember what that was. So I was doing a sideline gig, and I've talked about sidelines before. In fact, that's in my playlist, the business of making music. It's one of the ways, you know, I've made money. And it's not the gig itself is not a great paying gig. Sidelining, I mean, I think it's $180 for an 8-hour day or something like that. And if you're charging, you know, $70 an hour for guitar lessons, you know, it doesn't take many lessons to make that much money. It doesn't take but a couple, 3 hours to make that kind of money. But the reason you do sidelining is because the secondary market money. So once you're on a contract on a movie or a TV show, if that movie or TV show makes money after its original market, like for example, U.S. theatrical or network television or whatever, if it makes money on cable or in reruns or whatever, then you get a check every year for your percentage of that work. And it, you know, it's one check that has all of the things you've done on it. And sometimes you get a special one in the middle of the year for no reason. I don't know why they do that, but July 1st is when typically secondary market money goes out. And so that's why you take it, because that check can get pretty big. And I know a lot of people almost depend on that check every year to pay all their bills. But so when I get called to do these, I always say, sure, I can make I can make it work. Usually, what happens when they call you for one of these is um, they will, and I'm wondering if I have my glasses that I bought glasses for the movie, um, but they will have. This is the story for Diane. So I hope you're there, Diane. Um, they will say, okay, send us a recent picture, and you just take a picture. It doesn't have to be a professional headshot. They just want to see, like, do you have facial hair? What's going on? That kind of thing. And then they throw the pictures. Here are the guitar players for the director, and the director goes, okay, him. And then here are the bass players, and him. And then and maybe even the director doesn't even make that call. It could be just the casting director. The director trusts the casting director, or whatever. So anyway, that's how you get the gig. You have to know somebody. So I know 3 or 4 of those casting directors that tend to work in those things. And I don't get called very often anymore because I'm a little old. They're usually casting younger people for these kind of things. Alex has been getting them. Alex has done, like, I think 2 Adam Sandler movies recently. Alex was in season 1 of Big Bang Theory. He was in that, and he still makes money off of that. So actually, he's made a lot of money off of that over the years. But so anyway, I'm doing this thing, and I know it's 1949. We get a bonus, so that 180 a day is already up 50% because we're getting a haircutting bonus, and I know it's 5 days. And so what that means is that because it's a period piece, if you have long hair, they're going to give you a bonus because they're going to have to cut your hair short. And at the time, I already had fairly short hair, but it didn't matter. Even if you had short hair, they're still going to give you the bonus because everybody in the band was getting it. So you still have to go in, and they'll check your hair and beard. And if you have anything that's non-1949 on your face or head, they're going to make you get rid of it. So there were guys that said, "No, I'm not going to shave my hair for this," And I get that. They're not going to cut if they have long hair and they like their long hair, they're not going to. I didn't really care. For me, it was always a free haircut. So I was like, yeah, I'll take a free haircut. Are you kidding me? Save me $30. But the other thing is, I went to, there was a vintage in Pasadena on Green Street. There was a vintage. This is funny. This is a long story, Diane. There was a vintage. Thank you, Dennis. Tom Robinson. Oh, can you please put up the disc? Oh, okay. Thanks, guys. There was a vintage eyeglass store, right? Vintage eyeglass frames, glass frames. So I thought, what would be cool? Because whenever I've done the sideline things, they make me take off my glasses, and I can't. It's so fascinating to see what's going on in this. Because the reason they make you take off your glasses is because of the glare, the reflection, right? Like that. See that? Okay, see that? They don't want that, and so because they don't want the viewer to know that there's all these lights around you. So, but when you have your glasses, there's 2 problems that occur when you have your glasses off on set. One is you're blind. I'm blind as a bat without my glasses, and there's cables and stuff everywhere. So if my glasses are across the room, it's dangerous to walk across the room with all those mic cables, speaker cables, TV cables, whatever. There's all sorts of stuff, camera stuff. And I could trip and fall and get hurt, and they don't want that. The other problem is generally, most of the time you don't have to take them off. You can put them in your breast pocket, or you can put them behind you somewhere hidden. But what happens is they'll say, cut, and you go get your glasses and you put them on, and then you're waiting around for half an hour while they reset everything. And because your scene may be literally 1 minute of you pretending to play guitar. So what happens, and they say action, and now you play the guitar, and you forgot to take off your glasses. And now they have a continuity issue. They go, okay, we can use this angle from here, and then, oh, wait, the guitar player has his glasses on, but he didn't hear. So, and it's like, who is that? Don't use him again. So it's really bad. So I went to this vintage eyeglass place thinking, I'm going to buy a pair of vintage glasses and have lenses put in them so I can sit up on stage and have my glasses the whole time. And I'll get anti-reflecting. See, these glasses, these are anti-reflecting. So you don't see, because at church we're on TV and everything, I get anti-reflecting so they don't create these white splotches. These are just my computer glasses, so it's irrelevant. Although it's not really that bad. But anyway, so I guess you can take a sip if I change glasses. Sip. Oh, let's see. Oh yeah, I can't wear contact lenses. I tried and see. Remember, well, you probably don't even notice. I'm blind in my left eye, so I can't see anything on my left eye. So I got contact lenses. Great because two lenses. I only I only need to buy one. It would save me money, or I'd buy two lenses and I could do. But the problem was I could not seem to. I had contacts for 6 months, and I could not. The entire 6 months I had eye infections because I could not. For some reason, I was either having a reaction to it, or I couldn't get them clean enough, or my hands weren't clean enough. I don't know what was going on, but I cannot. That would be really stupid to lose your eyesight because you got a bad infection. So, yeah, let me get my chisel. So, I bought, and I think I have them somewhere. But so I went to this vintage place, and the store had glasses, frames, and vintage ones. And I said, "Excuse me, do you have any like wire frames from the 40s? Anything from the 40s would be fine because people, very likely a guitar player's not gonna have a lot of money, so he might have lenses that were frames that were from 1942, 43, 44. He probably wouldn't be buying new frames every year." And the guy said, "No," and I said, "No, really?" He goes, "Well, not that I'm allowed to sell." And I said, "What do you mean you're not allowed to sell?" "Well, we're holding them back for somebody." "All of them?" And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "Are you holding them back for Gangster Squad?" And he goes, "How did you know about that?" He goes, "Well, because I'm in the movie." And he goes, "Oh, well, I can sell them to you." And I said, "Oh, okay, cool." So I started going through the frames, and I just didn't like any of them. I put them all on, look as best as I. It's always hard to see frames. I have to take a picture now with the phone, but back then it wasn't really. I think I did that back then, but I didn't really like any of them. I felt they were all really poorly made. They're really falling apart, and I didn't trust them to last the week of taking them on or whatever. So, anyway, I went ahead and looked for some on somewhere. I can't remember, some website company, and my eyeglass place, they could get these frames, and I had it all done fast emergent. I had to pay extra to get it done, and so I found these tortoiseshell round frames that looked very vintage. I sent the pictures of the frames before I bought them to one of the producers of the movie, and there's literally could be a dozen producers on a movie because everybody's got jobs, and there's it's insane the organization required to do a feature film. Very impressive. And so I sent it to her. She said, "Yeah, these are great." And I said, "Great. I'm going to buy them for myself so you don't have to do anything. So don't worry, I'll buy them." And I spent $700 of my own money. I needed new glasses anyway, and I thought they were cool. Very John Lennon. Like I said, I thought I don't know where they would be. Oh, you know what? They may be in the car. I think I have them in the car as a backup in case I break my glasses. So, and they're not trifocals, so they're only good for they're not good for everything. So I got them made. My guy made them. They got them turned around really quick. Oh, thank you, Gary. Oh no, you're gonna add. She quizzically the reverse this time. Should have quit. Thanks, Gary. You have to keep updating you. See you later, Catherine. Thank you for hanging out. Sorry about the long story. Oh, you're blind in your right eye. Well, between us, we have two eyes, Tom. And so I got the glasses. I went in for a fitting, and they got us vintage tuxedos, fit like perfect. Really serious. Like I went in for a fitting the day we went for the haircut. They set up the barber at the costume place on Western. No, the costume place was Western Costumes in Burbank. So I went there. We could kill two birds with one stone. We're getting paid for this, which is great. So you're getting paid like, I don't know, a couple bucks for the haircut, but you're getting like 35 bucks for the fitting. They come in, they give you do the fitting, they get your shoe size, all that stuff. I think you could wear your own socks, obviously, and underwear and all that stuff. But the shoes they provided, the cummerbund, the tuxedo, the tie, all that stuff. And so the first day of shooting, so there's a 50% pay bump for the haircut. So if it paid $180 a day, now it's going to pay, $270. Well, there's also, the thing is most of the call times, and the call time is when you're supposed to be there, were like 4 or 5 in the afternoon. And we would go all night. Like we would be done around 6 or 7 in the morning. So you hit 8 hours, you're on golden time. But if you get to midnight, you're on golden time. So that we hit 8 hours, and then we went into overtime around 3 a.m. And sometimes we wouldn't even we'd get there at 4 in the afternoon. We wouldn't even do anything until 3 a.m. It's like that insane, right? It's a really weird job, and you have to bring a book or your phone or whatever, bring a charger, and you really have to be prepared to be bored. I had a guitar with me. In fact, I also bought a guitar for the scene. I spent $500 on a 40s K, which I really like. In fact, I was thinking about it yesterday because I heard that song. There's a pop song on the radio now that's a hit called "Get Me Coffee" or "Make Me Coffee" or something. I don't know. And it sounds kind of like this archtop guitar that I got. So it's no pickup guitar, and I'm not really playing, so it doesn't really matter. They were going to get me something, but I like use it as an opportunity to buy something, an excuse. So I spent $700 on the glasses, $500 on the guitar. So I'm already out $1,200. But I'm totally fine with this. Both of those things I'm going to use. So I get there. It's funny because so they're filming this scene. It's supposed to be it's Slapsy Maxie's, which was a nightclub in the 40s and 30s and 40s, maybe into the 50s on Wilshire Boulevard in Los Angeles. And so this is a kind of a reproduction of that. But it's down in we're in Torrance or Downey or something. I think we're in Downey. And they made this block of Downey look like 1949 Wilshire Boulevard, which is really cool. Because they really couldn't afford to block off Wilshire Boulevard. But Downey, they could have no problem. So so it's kind of in this, I don't want to call it strip mall. It's just a bunch of businesses in a row on a street. And like 2 doors down was where we went. And I think it was just like a space that was used as a kind of an office park type church, like a church thing. And so the musicians, and it's a big band, so there's like 20 of us, and the dancers, because they're dancers that are dancing to the music, that's our space, okay? We're not technically extras because we're all union, so they have to kind of give us a better space. They feed us, they get it all, we got perks. Most of the extras are non-union, so they're just in a tent somewhere, and they give them hot dogs. We got like steak dinner, whatever we wanted, we got. It was crazy. So, I don't know if I completely fit in my tux by the end of the week, to be honest. And there's so many great stories out of this. It was so fun, but I don't know if they're great stories, but there's stories for Diane. And we're getting to, and the funny thing about music, we're just a bunch of guys, mostly my age, maybe a couple younger guys, but full band, drummer, piano, percussion, horn section, maybe not 20, probably more like 14, 15, something like that. I'm playing guitar, obviously. And we're all in this space that we're just hanging out in, and then we can go into the bathroom and change. Dancers, they didn't go to the bathroom. They just took off their clothes right there and changed, all of them. It's like, wow. I mean, I guess they're used to doing like theater, and in theater you just go in a room and get undressed and dressed, and because you got to change quick because you're doing scenes and stuff like that. So it was funny, that little dichotomy there between hanging out with dancers and hanging out with musicians, two totally different things. And so we get our suits on, and and I remember the producer that approved my glasses. Her name was like Sarah Pickle. It was like, I remember Pickle. The first name now I don't remember. Maybe it was Laura Pickle or Sarah Pickle or Bethany Pickle or something. It was, but Pickle I remember, and I remembered the first name at the time. And we go and like I said, I got to look up this name because we go stand outside out by one of the tents, and yeah, this lady we sorry, get my screens all in order here. So we're standing out there, and Mary, who's the costume director, like that's a big job, huge job. Because it's a pretty big, it's like 300 people in this room. She comes through the band. She's like, okay, line up, band lines up. She goes, okay, good. Okay, no, this needs to be, okay, good. She comes to me and she goes, lose the glasses. Good. Okay, good. And I went, no. And she goes, excuse me? And I'm like, I don't know who this lady is. I said, no, I bought these glasses for this shoot. And she's like, I'm the costume director. I said, well, Laura Pickle said I could wear these glasses. And I guess Laura Pickle was above her on the food chain of the movie. And she just kind of said an expletive and moved on, right? And so I was like, well, I didn't think anything about it then. I was like, okay, cool. I stood my ground on this. Because I'm like, I don't want to be blind for a week, for 5 days. I don't want to be sitting there blind. Or I don't want to create a continuity issue. Or I don't want to trip. You know, there's just too many reasons. And that's why I spent $700 of my own dollars to buy these glasses. She was like, okay. Well, the funny thing was there was a camera crew following her around. They were documenting her role in all this, as well as everybody else, you know, for behind the scenes kind of stuff. And I looked her up later, and she's like, she does all the Coen brother movies. Like she's she's won Oscars for. It's like, oh my gosh, I just told this lady no. I had no idea. And I'm just like an extra. I'm like the lowest. I'm just slightly above an extra in this whole economy, in this whole ecology of a movie set. And so, but I got to keep my glasses on, and so I sit down, and the funny thing is that, I'm sitting there, and Brian, who was sitting next to me playing saxophone, and Brian is like one of the best sax players in the world, and it's hilarious because we're not actually playing, and here's one of the best sax players in the world, and he can't, it's this like instrument that he has doesn't even play. It's vintage, and they don't want to, it's good because you don't want to accidentally hit a note. I'm actually having to miss the string, so, if you were to see me from the side, I'm doing this, and I don't dare hit the strings because the music's not even on. It's on in our ears, but nobody else can hear the music. And so the actors, they're recording an actor, and so everything has to be quiet. And it was blowing me away because the dancers would dance and their shoes wouldn't make a sound. And they had shoes on, and they knew how to dance completely quietly. They're, doing they're match up man, woman all over the dance floor and doing the typical 1940s type dances. And they weren't making a sound. And the crazy thing is they didn't have earwigs. The dancers did not have earwigs, which means they didn't have because of what they are. There's little teeny tiny wireless transmitters that you have in your ears, so you don't need two of them, just one. And so this one scene that we're shooting, I mean, it was several scenes in this room, but the first day was a continuous shot. I think it happens pretty early in the movie. So if you can watch Gangster Squad, Gangster Squad, you'll see it. But it's Ryan Gosling's kind of a renegade cop in L.A., and he's walking down the street, and he's got a hat on, and he's walking down the street, and they're filming. And what they did was they started a guy with a Steadicam. They wear those Steadicams, but he was on a boom. I mean, on a lifter thing, like a cherry picker thing, but he was just sitting on it. And they start out the shot from high, and we're inside the club, so we hear rolling action, and then we just sit. They didn't tell us what was happening at first, so we're just sitting there like, what? But we don't have to do anything, because then they'll say, okay, when we play the music, then that's when you can start pretending to play. And then they turn off the music, but they have it in our ears. They turn it in the room so everybody can hear what the music's playing, and then about 2 seconds later they turn it off and only we hear it. So Ryan is walking down the street, the guy's on the boom, they lower him down, he steps off, and he follows him into the club. The scene is supposed to be Ryan coming in the front door of the club, tossing his hat to the hat check girl, going up these stairs, I think, down some stairs into the club. He opens a door, and then he comes through into, and the cameraman follows him into the club where we are. And this club is completely, there was no club there. It was just an empty shell of a building, and they just turned it into a nightclub. So, a 40s nightclub. So we're sitting there, they say rolling is the first thing, and then action, and then we're just sitting there waiting, and it, maybe 5 minutes, and then they say cut. I'm like, we didn't have to do anything. Sorry, reset. I'm like, okay. And then an hour later, 20 minutes later, 30 minutes later, whatever. Okay, here we go. Everybody ready? Everybody in position, and all the waiters and the people and the dancers, and okay, everybody's in position. Rolling means they're recording. Action, that means telling Ryan to start walking. We're waiting. Cut. It's like, damn it, what happened? Something happened. They didn't like, maybe the guy fell off of the boom or something, or Ryan tripped or whatever. But something didn't happen that was supposed to happen before he even got into the club. So we're like, dang, okay, reset. And like, we don't have to. Oh, that's the other thing that happens. Is crazy. When they just before they say action, they fill the club with smoke. Okay, so these big pipes that just fill the club with smoke. In literally 60 seconds, this giant room is filled with smoke. And then when they say cut, these giant fans suck all the smoke out. And about 50 seconds later, it's all gone. It's crazy because everybody's got fake cigarettes, and I think they're smoking. They're like clove cigarettes, but everyone's smoking except the band and the dancers and the wait staff. But you know what I mean. And so there's so they say action. They fill the room with smoke. Say rolling, action. I'm like waiting again. Music. Oh, music. Okay. They play the music. It's loud and they have speakers you can't see, and they're playing a loud music. And then they say kill music, but we still hear it. So I'm doing my fake playing. They say background, and then the wait staff start moving, the dancers start moving, everybody starts doing their thing. And in comes Ryan with the cameraman behind him, for that perspective of him coming into the club. And he gets in the club, and he gets all the way down to his point where he's pretty far from me, maybe 30 feet from me or whatever, where he's going to have a conversation with a friend. Sit down at a friend's table or something like that. And then they say cut. And the whole room just went, yeah. We all cheered like, finally, we got one. Okay, reset. It's like, oh, jeez. So we had to do it all over again. And we did it a couple times more, I think, right? So this is 5 or 6 hours of this, to get 3 or 4 takes. I mean, it's really expensive. And the director's like hanging out, and he's the director of photography is here because they've been getting the angle too, once the different angles. And so the director was right next to me, and we're just talking during breaks and stuff. And nice, super nice guy. In fact, he did the movie he had done right before this. Oh, that's funny. Jablonski did the music for. I forgot that he did that. The director was. Sorry. And this wasn't very well received. Ruben Fleischer. He was the director for. Super nice guy though. What was his big movie? Oh, he's producing a lot. Dang it. Zombieland. That was the one he did beforehand that made him really big. Prior to that, he hadn't done a whole lot. So, a lot, kind of quirky comedy thing. So this was more of a drama. This wasn't a comedy, so I don't know if it was a perfect fit. Acting, yeah. So you're not commenting, so you're listening. That's good. How many people do we have? It's funny. Well, okay. Well, so it's an inside look at some of this stuff. It's pretty cool. So we're talking, and I said, "Oh, is that the last one? Are we done with this scene?" He goes, "Yeah, I think we got that from this angle. We're going to get it from different angles now." I said, "Oh, cool, okay." And in fact, some of the other angles of him coming through the door, the camera was facing away from me, so we didn't even need to be up there because we're not playing anything. We're not actually playing music. That music is already locked to the picture, and they've got all these lines of stuff that go on, with the picture. So it's all locked together. So they can make the music line up every time. And so, but I'm talking to him. I said, you know what would be cool? He said, what? I said, you know what would be fun is what if we did it again, do one more take, but we all hid, like we all hide, and then when Ryan comes to the doors, we all jump out and yell surprise. And the director was like, he sat there for a second, he was like, he goes, oh, that would be fun. And he goes, yeah, we can't. I said, how much would that cost? He goes, that would probably cost about $60,000 to do that, just to play a joke on Ryan Gosling. And I went, yeah. I said, if I had like unlimited funds, I would totally pay for that. And he goes, oh yeah, it would be. He goes, me too. He goes, that would be really funny. So he was super nice. And then, so we're going. We, like I said, this was a 5-day shoot. 4 days we were in with the big band, with the Slapsy Maxis, and doing different angles and different scenes. There were different scenes. There was a scene where Ryan and Emma Stone are talking at the bar right to my right. So I'm playing, and I'm behind them playing while they're having a conversation. You could see me between their heads. I'm really blurry, but I'm right there. And another thing, the music supervisor, who was kind of the guy that basically is paying us. He was our boss, technically, the music supervisor. I touched my face. He was sitting with the director much of the time. So there's, the director, oftentimes they have their own little setup of 5 or 6 or 7 screens of all the camera angles, and they've got, headphones, and they're talking to people and stuff like that. And they're kind of tucked away. Sometimes they're hidden behind curtains. Sometimes they're in another room. But usually they're in the same room. They're just in a place in the room where none of the camera angles are capturing them. Okay. Yeah. And so what was the music supervisor's name? There were a couple things that happened that were really funny. Let's see. Sorry, let me find it. I can find it this way. Music. That's so funny that Jablonski did the music for that. Music department, music supervisor. No, that's not. What was his name? Dang it, we're Facebook friends. I should know him. Peter Rotter was my kind of the contractor. Dang it, where is he? Peter Erskine played drums on it. Oh, that's cool. George Deering, of course. Oh, Carter Armstrong. He was executive in charge of music. Interesting. Okay, that was his role. Okay. So Carter was sitting there, the guy sitting with the director. And a couple days into the shoot, and something I know, this thing, Brian was sitting next to me, right? Brian also wore glasses, but he wasn't wearing them on set. And he had frameless lenses, the kind of lenses that, kind of an invisible frame there and a little wire going, underneath the lens, and, very modern glasses. And he would take them off when they said action, and he would kind of put them in his breast pocket or something like that. Well, I looked over one time when we were filming, and he forgot to take them off. He's sitting there pretending to play sax, and he's got his, 2012 glasses on. And so it's funny, but so I noticed that I told him, he's like, oh, shoot. He's like, and he remembered from then on, but I think there was 1 or 2 times he didn't remember. So again, that could create a continuity issue if they're like, okay, we can use this angle and this angle, and then somebody's looking closer and and they're always taking pictures, like Polaroids. So because they're constantly taking Polaroids, so that, if you're standing this way, you got to be standing that way also here. And then the makeup people keep going around and doing makeup and hair, like constantly coming up to you between takes. So you're not sometimes just sitting there doing nothing. But so Carter comes up to me and says, dude, I go, what? He goes, the director loves you. I said, really? What do you mean? He goes, every scene, every time we take a take, he zooms in on you, and then when they say action, they pull out. I said, really? that's weird. He goes, yeah. He said, dude, you look so legit. And I went, huh. Well, that's weird. Well, okay. So, and I can post some pictures up on, I think I posted them on my, I know I posted them on my community of the YouTube community of me doing I'm wearing the round glasses, I'm wearing a tuxedo, sitting down, I got a gold screen, curtain behind me, and I'm playing the K archtop. And I started looking around, and Brian next to me goes, dude, you know you're the only person in the room wearing glasses? And I'm like, I'm looking around, I'm going, oh my gosh. Wait a minute. I said, in 1949, there weren't contact lenses and there wasn't LASIK surgery. Literally 50% or more of the population wore glasses. It was like more common than not wearing glasses. And that's why the director was like, dang, you know, Tom looks legit, because it's like I'm sitting there wearing glasses. And I said, you know what else is missing? And I know this is a bar, but I told Brian, I said, you know what else is missing? He goes, what? I said, pregnant ladies. Like, half of the ladies in this bar should be out to here pregnant because it's the baby boom. And he goes, you're totally right. And it was like one of those things where they wanted a period piece, but there's certain things they didn't want. And I noticed that Mary, the lady that was the costumer, in all like, you hardly ever see people wearing glasses in her movies. In all the Coen brother movies, you hardly ever see anybody wearing glasses. So that's kind of a weird. One more sip left. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I can find that. I've got it. I could put it up on. I can put it up there. But you know, so we're playing. You know, we're playing, and you know, it's cool. Like I said, I got to stare at. I got to stare at what's her name, Emma Stone. You know, which wasn't a bad thing. And her parents were there, so she was hanging out with her parents. Like I said, there's so much downtime. And so there's all these behind the scenes places where you just go and you hang out when they're saying action. Oh, I know. The thing was, the actor Anthony Mackie, and so what else has he done? Like, what are his big pictures? Hurt Locker, Captain America. He was Sam Wilson, he's Falcon in Captain America. Adjustment Bureau. He's done a lot of movies, right? Let's see. What are some recent movies? The Banker. Oh yeah, I haven't seen that yet. Point Blank. Anyway, he's a black actor, and he went to Juilliard with a bass player. So I don't know if he's even in these scenes. I think he's in some of these scenes because I think he plays a cop too. And he's friends with the bass player, right? And the bass player, super nice guy, and Anthony, right? Anthony, yeah, Anthony. So we're doing a scene. Director yells, "Cut!" And then I hear somebody go, "Who's that bass player? He's the blankety blank best bass player I've ever heard." Of course, we're faking playing, right? And the bass player's just dying. It's like they're really good buds from school, and I'm like, but I don't know who's saying that. I'm like, we're starting to laugh, like, what the heck is going on? And then we do another scene, and all of a sudden the director says, "Cut!" And then all from somewhere over here, we hear same voice. "That bass player is the sexiest man I've ever seen," and we're all dying. And finally, I realize it's Anthony, and we had dinner with him, because keep in mind we're like starting at 6 and going till 6 in the morning, you know, or 7 or 8 in the morning. These were long days, and I mean I was sleeping during the day. It was weird, but and we just were dying, and he kept doing that every time we saw Cut. It was like, "That bass player, man, I want to marry that guy." You know, it's like, they were having so much fun. So, yeah, so it was pretty. Yeah, I am legit, right? So it was a pretty fun week, but it was pretty long week, and like I said, ultimately the week paid really good because we kept going into golden time and all the golden time instead of paying whatever it is, you know, I don't know, was it $28 for every 15 minutes after the, you know, whatever. It was 50% more of that because we're we got our haircut. So we get a haircut bonus because it's a period piece. So part of the reason why they don't film very much in LA anymore, because it's just so expensive. They film in Canada, they can do it non-union. They don't have to pay any of that stuff. So, they could pay someone $300 for the day and be done with it. So ultimately, I think it paid something like $700 or $800 a day, and then secondary market money. I get checks every year for that. So, you could play a game of Where's Walt. I mean, I'm barely there. You can see me. Let's see if I can pull up. Let's see. Yeah, I'll put them up there with me and my, with us with our guitars. That I can put it there. There was another thing that happened. So I'm going to save this though, because Diane, I got to get back to work. But remind me about another story. The guy that played one of the ruffians, basically the Sean Penn is playing. He's actual real person. He's playing a real person in the movie, because it's based on a true story. The whole premise of the movie. Also, ironically, was in a movie called Mob City, which was based on the same thing, which is how L.A. got rid of the Mickey Cohen. Sean Penn was playing Mickey Cohen. It's how L.A. kept the mafia from setting up camp in L.A. Basically, the mayor gave the police department carte blanche just to kill people, and that's what they did. They basically played by the same rules, and so basically that's why Vegas exists. If they hadn't done that, Vegas might not exist. But then the other thing is, if they hadn't chased off the mafia, you probably wouldn't have gangs in LA. So you have gang problems in LA because the mafia is not here. Like Providence, Rhode Island has a big mafia presence, but you wouldn't know it. You'd never know it, and unless you're in their business. And there's really very little gang stuff going on in Providence because they don't want the competition. So, Diane's the keeper of the story list. So, but the guy, and I think his name, the actor, it was Holt. I think, Holt McCallany. I'm pretty sure that's who it was. I'm trying to think. He was a pretty big guy. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. He was in Fight Club, so I think that makes sense. He came to our staging area, the little, well not little, the room where we were hanging out. He came over there and had a request. So if you remind me, Diane, I can tell that story too, because that's pretty funny. But it was fun to watch. The other thing it was interesting was like I said, I talked to Sean Penn. I said, hey, did you really learn how to play guitar for Sweet and Low Down? And he did a pretty good job. He didn't look really much like he was playing. He goes, I'm not really. And I said, well, we really like it. The kids really like that movie. He goes, oh, thanks, man. But it was funny because his friend I didn't realize he was friends with David Spade. So he had David Spade like hanging out with him on set when he was between scenes. So that was, it's just funny to see what goes on, between takes and everything. So anyway, that's it. I will, so remind me I will try to log in Friday. Hopefully I'll be able to get this game done. I got to deliver on Friday or by Friday, and I'm slowly delivering everything. After I recorded it, I uploaded to Dropbox so the composer can see that I'm keeping up on everything. So hopefully I'm going to have it done today. That's my goal. But anyway, God bless you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. And then as far as Friday goes, we may go CAPO 4. So we may CAPO at the 4th fret, and then you'll have all of the positions. And I'm going to go to Discord now and upload some of those Gangster Squad pictures so you can see them. Okay? I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.